The Labor Party conference isn't the only summit taking place in Queensland today. The Courier Mail is hosting their Bush Summit in Rockhampton, which, like the Daily Telegraph Bush Summit last week, was picketed by protesters this morning, demanding the government do more to control the amount of renewable energy projects being built on prime Queensland farmland.
There's a proposed $1.5 billion solar farm on our eastern boundary. We'll have to drive through 9 kilometres of panel to get to our house. We've only got one access. Our house is 500 metres from the boundary. Anyone who thinks that's acceptable is dreaming. It's heartbreaking. It's destroying our family. We've been advised that we'll suffer at least a 30% devaluation in our property.
This state government, what they plan to do out to our communities is absolutely disgusting. We don't seem to have a voice.
You would have spotted National Senator Matt Canavan in that footage, and he joins me now. Matt, you were there at the protest this morning. What did they tell you? What did they want you to take action on?
Well, they're just sick to death of often foreign-based renewable energy companies getting a blank cheque to cut down every tree in sight, blanket their landscape with mirrors. And it's just destroying our country for no good purpose either. I mean, we know renewable energy now doesn't work. It's just get your latest power bill and have a look at it. We've been installing massive amounts of this stuff, and power prices just keep going up. But the silent, so far silent victims of the city-based desire to feel good about oneself and have wind turbines and solar panels on the horizons are the farmers of our nation that provide our food. They have to put up with this stuff right next door. I mean, which one of your viewers would like to have a 200-foot wind tower in their backyard? These things are monstrosities.
I wouldn't want all the dead birds to begin with. It's just astonishing to me, Matt, that people who say they care about the environment are destroying the natural environment, cutting down trees and putting up these solar farms, these wind farms, and that doesn't seem to concern them at all, that the natural environment is being scarred with these projects.
Well, there's nothing green about renewable energy. The only green thing about it is it makes a lot of money for a lot of people. That's what this is all about. That's why the investors are in here. Obviously, they want to make money, as I say, often they're from overseas, foreign-based investors coming here and destroying our landscape. But it's not. You're not going to save the planet by installing a lot of wind turbines. I mean, the Glenn Kelly that you just heard from there in your intro, he's in the middle of a wind farm that's going to take up 11,000 hectares, just industrialise 11,000 hectares. He can see the Stanwell coal-fired power station from his back porch. I've been on his back porch. He can see it's not far from it. He's got no problem with the coal-fired power station. It doesn't really make much difference to his life. It's been there for a long time. It's only 1,600 hectares, but this wind farm is like 11,000 hectares with massive big towers, or will be, overshadowing his house. And guess what? After all that, after using 10 times the land effectively as the coal-fired power station, it will produce just 10% of the power of the coal-fired power station. So how is that good for the environment? If we want to protect the environment, we should be backing energy sources which don't use as much of the environment and keep it pristine for our koalas, our sugar gliders, and of course the production of food from our farmers as well.
Now in Melbourne, angry farmers were slowing down traffic in the CBD. They were protesting against power lines. They drove their tractors, as we can see there, to Parliament House on Tuesday in opposition to the building of these new power lines that are needed to shift the electricity grid from coal-fired power to renewable energy. What hopes do these farmers have, Matt, when you've got the Victorian Libs who seem to be as captured by the climate catastrophists as the Daniel Andrews government?
Look, I think there is hope, Rita. I think this issue is breaking through into our cities. The reason why the cowardly Victorian Liberal Party and other governments have gone along with this solar and wind energy is because they think that's what people want. You know, it's what people in the cities have often said when you ask them, hey, what sort of energy would you like? And people blithely sort of say solar and wind because it sounds good and till now has been nice. But I think more and more people, as they hear from our nation's farmers who they love and respect and want to protect, they hear that they're harrowing stories of their experiences with this. I mean, that farmer, he's got to drive through 9 kilometres of mirrors to get to his house.
Oh, great.
I mean, this is ridiculous. As more and more people hear that, there will be a turning away from renewable energy. And when people turn away from it, when the polling numbers fall on it, suddenly, guess what? These cowardly governments will turn as well because they're just doing These governments are just parroting what they think we think. And so the important thing for your viewers is to tell your friends about this. Tell people about what's going on to our nation's farmers. As I say, we should love and respect them. They feed us. They work so hard for us. And we should put their interests first, well and above beyond these foreign-based renewable energy companies who are acting like cowboys right now.
Now, Matt, before you go, let's take a second and check in on the US President. He's talking to the kiddies here.
And I want to say one thing to your children. I know some really great ice cream places around here. And Daddy owes you. Okay? So talk to me afterwards.
Now, Senator, that's just creepy if you ask me, but it's better than some of the other things he's said about kids.
I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun, and the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They'd look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap, and I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
It never stops being funny. I mean, he said that insane diatribe before he was elected president. So his cognitive decline has been some time coming. Any comments, Senator?
Look, I'll leave the state of the president's mind to American people, but I will say I'm very, very saddened by what's happening in US politics, and particularly the weaponisation of their judicial system, taking political opponents to court, taking lawyers and legal teams to court now and trying to indict them as well. It's a sad from what is the home of modern democracy for this to happen. And I just think it's a massive bell warning, a bell going off for us, that we need to be very careful we don't let the same type of weaponisation of the judiciary, the clouding of the separation between Parliament and the judicial system to happen here. We follow so many American trends in this country, but let's not follow that one with these corruption commissions and what have you. That the whole judicial system has to stay separate from the political system for good reason, and those reasons are being played out in front of our screens in the US right now.
Well said, Senator Canavan. Thank you so much for your time this evening.